Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope your day, your week, your weekend, they're all going well so far. If you watched yesterday's video, if you tailed yesterday's parlay, then your weekend is off to a fantastic start. We got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video. And if you can't tell by the motherfucking sunglasses, and oh yeah, I'm going to be swearing in this video a little bit. You can't tell by the sunglasses, we cashed last night. Plus 880, 6-leg parlay. Now, it was supposed to be a 7-leg parlay. Jaylen Brown didn't play, so it took the odds down a little bit. But still, a plus 880 hit, 6-leg parlay. You know what that means. Got to bring out the money gun. This is what we won last night, guys. We won all of this last night. You know what? This is for the haters. One for you. One for you. One for you. Broken arrow keys. There's 2 for you, pal. Hope you faded the parlay last night. 1 for you guys. Let's go. Let's go. Fantastic night. You know what? Last night was probably the most fun I've had hitting a parlay on this channel to date, just because there was so much hate in the comments yesterday, so many people doubting me, calling the picks terrible, saying these were the worst, you're stupid, why do you pick these players, blah, 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 blah. No, I don't mean to do that, guys. I do respect, even the haters, I do respect for the most part. But guys, fantastic night last night again. A 6-leg parlay we cashed. Plus, it ended up being like plus 880. Again, it was supposed to be plus 1400, but then Jaylen Brown, of course, didn't play. But the other 6 legs did hit. Zubac was a little bit of a sweat towards the end, but we got it there. So, guys, thank you very much, as always, for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, all that good stuff. Comment money gun down below because we cashed that parlay last night. And to everybody who did tail the parlay, thank you very much, as always, for supporting and for tailing. And I'm happy I could win you guys some money. I saw a lot of people in the comments this morning, yesterday, saying that they won a good deal of money off of that parlay, which I'm very happy. I'm always happy when I can get you guys some money. And so, look, for today, we got a small slate of games, only 4 games. So we're going to run it back. We're just going to do another parlay. I'm not doing straight props for today. We'll go back to the normal format on Monday. I got a 4-leg parlay for tonight's slate. Let's see if we can run it back, keep the vibes going. Let's see if we can hit it on back-to-back nights. Now, I don't want to run this too long. This will be a little bit of a shorter video, but I do want to talk about this real quick. I don't want to give the trolls and the guppies too much time, but I want to talk about what happened yesterday in the comments. So, like I said, there was a lot of hate, which is fine. I'm all cool. Like, Broken Arrow Keys. Guy, love him. Honestly, do love him. He's in my comments every video saying my parlays suck. I love it. I don't mind criticism. I don't mind even hate for the most part. It's when there's a line that has to be crossed, though, where it's just too much. And we had a guy yesterday who took it too far. And look, I don't like to moderate the comments. I don't like to have to block people off the channel. But there comes a point where it's like, you guys got to relax. I'm not saying a lot of people do this. I'm just saying for future reference, like, let's be respectful for the most part. You know what I mean? I don't care if you say I suck. I don't care if you say my picks suck. I'm a bad bettor. Whatever you guys want to say, I don't care. It's when you start calling me a pussy, when you start, shitting on my business, my livelihood, my pizza place, even though you've never even been there, and just kind of doing that stuff. It just, yesterday, it was just one person who has now been taken care of. He's blocked from the channel. I don't like having to do that because I like to be able to interact with you guys. And it was a fun interaction. You guys saw yesterday before the comments got deleted. It was a fun interaction. This guy and another guy, they said my picks suck. We went back and forth. I offered them a spot on the show to come on and battle me for picks. There was a misunderstanding, I guess, and the guy just went ballistic, was spamming the comments. A lot of hateful, hurtful stuff. I got thick skin for the most part. I think I can handle it, but, it just comes to a point where it's just straight up disrespectful. At the end of the day, I give these picks out for free. This isn't a paid subscription. I know my picks don't always hit, but, I don't charge. These are all free picks I'm handing out, and, I don't want to go too long into it. I'm just saying, guys, let's just be respectful in the comments. Like I said, I don't mind. And they're respectful. I can take a lot. Like, you guys could say a lot of shit. It's just when you start, calling me a pussy and spamming it and taking it a little too far and a lot of, swearing at me. And again, mainly talking about my business and stuff like that in a negative way and all this stuff. It takes it a little bit too far. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I love this community, the Guy Boston Sports community. You guys are fantastic. But let's just, again, keep it respectful. Like I said, we can have fun and we can go back and forth and have some good banter. But there's a way to do that without crossing a line and being disrespectful and honestly just being a douchebag. And that guy was being a douchebag. So I'm not going to name the name, but if you guys know who I'm talking about, if you saw yesterday's video. But all right, guys, with that out of the way, again, I hate having to talk about the serious stuff, but I did want to bring it up just so you guys know, like, you know, I don't like to moderate the comments, but if it gets to that point, I will, and I will block people off the channel if I have to, if it gets to that personal level. But guys, positive vibes, we're feeling good. 4-leg parlay for tonight's slate, coming off our 6-leg parlay hit. Let's dive right in. Switch over to the Outlier screen now, guys. You don't know what Outlier is. They're the best sports betting tool on the market. They are a big help, including one of the big reasons why we cashed yesterday's parlay. There is a special link in the description below. You get a 7-day free trial. They're the sponsor of all my player prop videos, both NBA and MLB. I'm telling you guys, it is a fantastic tool. You try it out for 7 days. You got nothing to lose. You don't like it, you don't subscribe. But I'm telling you guys, you will like it. It consolidates everything. It makes it so much easier to sports bet. One more time, guys. Special link in the description below. 7-day free trial. Special thank you to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, first leg of our 4-leg parlay. We're going Cavs-Lakers, 3:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going Max Strus of the Cleveland Cavaliers over 11.5 points plus assists. You watch the channel, you know lately I've been loving to bet this prop. This is an alternate line, the DraftKings line, minus 180. You know, and somebody in the comments was yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, was saying like, oh, I can't believe you use alternate lines. When you do a parlay, and you want to get hits, sometimes alternate lines are the best way to go. That's just the science of it. But we are taking the alternate line here, minus 180. He's cashed this in 7 of his last 10 games, averaging 16.3 points plus assists per game. You stretch that down to his last 20 games, 65% hit rate, 13 of his last 20 games. He has cashed this over, averaging 15.65 points plus assists per game. In 2023 so far, a 74% hit rate on this over, 48 out of 65 games, averaging 16.12 points plus assists per game. So the data is really strong here. And looking at the head-to-head data, the one time they played this year back in November, he had 13 points and 2 assists versus the Lakers. Overall, the Lakers, you see here, they are bottom 10 in both points allowed and assists allowed overall. Versus small forwards, they're about middle of the road, 20 points and 4 assists per game. And if you narrow that data down to the last 10 games, it still remains true that they're about middle of the road. They're not a great defensive team. They're not a bad defensive team versus small forwards. I do like the spot here for Strus. And this is a filter just to show you guys what the number looks like this year. When Mobley, Mitchell, Garland, and Allen all play, they're all, right now looking at the injury report, none of them are on it. You see here for Cleveland if it will load. You see here none of those guys are on the injury report for the Cavs tonight. He's played 25 games this season where he's played with Allen, Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell. You see here a 68% hit rate on the over, averaging 15.88 points plus assists per game. So still, even when those guys all play, because I think a lot of people think, well, they're fully healthy. You know, how much is he going to get with those guys off? With those guys playing. And you see here, for the most part, still pretty strong. He had a little bit of a cold streak there in February, but for the most part, still a pretty consistent cover rate there, even when they have their full roster in. All right, guys, second leg of our 4-leg parlay going to the Pistons-Nets game, 7 p.m. tip-off. We're going Nick Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets over 19.5 points plus rebounds. We're getting this for minus 190 odds on DraftKings. You see here, he's cashed his line in 6 of his last 10 games, averaging 22.4 points plus rebounds per game. Pretty good number there. You go to his last 20 games, still a 60% hit rate, 12 of his last 20 games, averaging 22 points plus rebounds per game. And so far this year, a 61% hit rate on this over. 41 out of 67 games he has cashed this over, an average of 21.99 points plus rebounds per game for Claxton. So a pretty good number there for Nick Claxton. Look at the head-to-head data here. I see he's cashed in 4 of his last 6 games versus the Pistons, including 2 out of 3 so far this year. The last time they played on March 7th, about a month ago, he had 15 points and 10 rebounds. Overall, he has a couple big games there, but for the most part, pretty good. Even when you see his miss there under the December 23rd matchup, 11 points and 7 rebounds, he just barely missed, averaging 24 points plus rebounds per game versus Detroit. On the season, look at the right side of the screen. The Pistons are a bottom 10 teams in points allowed, give up 19 points per game. They're middle of the road in rebounds allowed, giving up 12 rebounds per game. But over the last 7 games, the Detroit Pistons have the 3rd worst defense in the NBA versus centers, giving up 27.66 points per game, as well as 14.35 rebounds per game. So really bad numbers of late for the Pistons here. Solid matchup for Claxton. He's been covering it pretty consistently all year long. I do really like the spot here. One more thing to show you guys. The Brooklyn Nets are 9.5 point favorites for tonight's slate. I put a filter on to show what Claxton's numbers look like when the Nets win by 5 or more points. You see here, in games that they win by 5 or more points, Claxton, a 70% hit rate, 14 out of 20 games this year when they've won by 5 or more, an average of 23.25 points plus rebounds per game. So they're 9.5 point favorites. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean Brooklyn will definitely win. The Bucks, I think, last night were like 15.5-point favorites, and they lost to Toronto. So anything can happen. But you do show here when the Nets win and when they play better, you see overall his numbers do go up. He's cashed it in 5 straight games when they win by 5 or more points. All right, guys, third leg of our 4-leg parlay. We're going Sixers-Grizzlies, 8 p.m. tip-off. We're going Joel Embiid over 26.5 points. We're getting this for -165 on DraftKings. Now, the data here is going to be a little misleading. We can't go too much off of it because obviously he has an 86% hit rate on the over this year. 31 out of 36 games, averaging 34.83 points per game this season. But you see a lot of those happen when he was healthy in that kind of MVP stretch he was on. And again, the line wouldn't be this. This is an alternate line, but even still, if it wasn't for the fact he's coming back from injury, the regular line, I believe, is 28.5. Yeah. So 28.5. If he was healthy, I mean, if he wasn't coming back from injury, that line probably would be a little bit higher in a game like this, maybe up to 30.5. We are getting a lucky line here at 26.5. Again, really tough to go off of too much data here, though. So we got to go look at the last 5, a little more of a narrow view. And you see he's played 2 games coming back from injury versus the Thunder. He had 24 points in the last game versus Miami, a really good defensive matchup. He had 29 points. Memphis on the year, they are a bottom 8 defense in points allowed to opposing centers, giving up 19 points per game to opposing centers. Over the last 7 games, they are bottom 6. They're giving up 25.96 points per game to opposing centers over the last 7 games. So one of the worst defenses versus bigs of late. And the thing with Embiid here is, the Sixers do need to win for playoff purposes, for seeding. You see, he played 32 minutes versus Miami, 29 minutes versus OKC. Now, the biggest thing here is if it's a blowout, which it possibly could be, right? What will his minutes look like? The thing with Embiid is they need him to kind of get back into game shape. So they're probably going to play him, even if it's a blowout. He probably will play somewhere in the ballpark of, I'd say, around 30 minutes. So I put this specific filter. This filter shows Embiid's numbers when he plays between 28 and 32 minutes per game. You see here, as long as he plays but in that range of 28 to 32 minutes, an 80% hit rate, 12 out of 15 games this year, he's cashed that over. So he doesn't really need a ton of playing time here to cash. You see here there's nothing. We're not having him play more than 32 minutes here. So 28, as long as he plays at least 28 minutes, between 28 and 32 minutes here, you see a pretty good cover rate. We don't need him to play 35, 40 minutes to cash this over. He can do it in relatively short enough time. He's averaging 33.33 points per game when playing in that range of 28 to 32 minutes. So if he plays in that range, I feel pretty confident in our chances here. And guys, the fourth and final leg of today's parlay, we're going to the Hawks-Nuggets game, 9 p.m. tip-off. I know, don't turn the video off because you see Capella. I know he burned us the other night, but I'm telling you guys, I do like the spot here. Clint Capella over 19.5 points plus rebounds. It's an alternate line, getting this at -170 odds here. He has cashed this in 7 of his last 10 games. You see that game versus Dallas where we had him. Now, on the parlay, we had him over 9.5 points. He only had 6. On the straight prop, we had him over 22.5 points plus rebounds. We're not taking either of those lines here. He just missed this by 1 point or rebound in that loss to Dallas there. But he has cashed this in 7 of his last 10 games. You look at the last 15 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 23.05 points plus rebounds per game. On the year so far, a 67% hit rate on this over. 46 out of 69 games, he's cashed the over. Averaging 22.01 points plus rebounds per game. And look at the head-to-head data. Each of the last 3 times he's faced off with Denver, including the one time they played this year, back on December 11th, he has cashed the over. Not by a lot, but he still cashed it all 3 times. Look at the right side of the screen here. Denver, they are bottom 5 in points allowed to opposing centers, giving up 19.4 points per game. Rebounds, they are actually a good rebounding team. They don't give up a ton of rebounds. But again, Capella has cashed this in all 3 times he played Denver since December 2022. Denver, look at the injury report for them. Obviously, we know Atlanta, what's going on with them. So many guys out for them. But on the Nuggets side of things, Jokic game time decision, Murray game time decision, Gordon game time decision. The Hawks obviously are a bottom feeder team at this point. And for Denver, this could be a chance to maybe rest some of their guys. I don't imagine Jokic will play a shit ton of minutes, although with Jokic, you just never really know. This is a filter to show Clint Capella this year without Onyeka Okongwu, who's obviously out. He's played 21 games this year without Okongwu. He's cashed it in 15 out of 21. It's a 71% hit rate. He's averaging 22.38 points plus rebounds per game when Onyeka Okongwu doesn't play. And you see here over the last, let's go ahead and narrow this down a little bit to the last 10 games. See here, 8 of the last 10 games without him, he's cashing. Look at the 2 times he missed versus Milwaukee and versus Dallas, barely missed. So really solid data here for Capella, and a decent matchup as well. We're getting it for minus 170 odds here on DraftKings. And so, guys, that is it for my parlay. That's our 4-leg parlay. Again, because there's only 4 games, and, you know, with the way that same game parlays work, it's a little confusing. So we're just going to stick to the 4 legs here. We'll quickly recap. Max Strus over 11.5 points plus assists. Joel Embiid over 26.5 points. Clint Capella over 19.5 points plus rebounds. And Nick Claxton, once again, over 19.5 points plus rebounds. You parlay all 4 of those legs together, you get a parlay of plus 506 odds. Not too bad. And just to show you guys, for those who are betting on other sports books here, on BetMGM, Prize Picks, Underdog, none of these picks are available. On Caesars, 2 out of 4. So you can get, if you're betting with Caesars, 2 of these legs are available. I believe it's the Capella and the Claxton props are both also available on Caesars. On FanDuel, unfortunately, only 1 prop is available, and I believe that is the Max Strus prop. But DraftKings, obviously, sportsbook of choice, all 4 legs are available. So, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you, as always, guys, very much for watching. Make sure one more time, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. Again, love you guys. I love this community. Don't take it personally. Like I said, it's not all you guys. It's literally just one guy yesterday who was kind of a douchebag. But we're not letting it deter us. We had a great day. We won a lot of money yesterday. I hope you guys won a lot of money yesterday. And I hope we win a lot of money tonight. Obviously, you guys know I don't do videos on Sunday, so I will be back here on Monday with a new NBA player prop video. Until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your weekend.